All right, guys. So obviously today's a big day. It's draft day. LRL. I know we're all excited to get season 2 started. I'm excited too. Let's get into it. Mock 1.0. I was a little short on time today because really been struggling with this one. It's a little different having the middle tier players as the captains. So that's made my picks a little bit different this season. So we're gonna start with Team Alec, player comp for Team Alec. Alec, we're going to compare him to Draymond Green. He's an elite defender, solid rebounder, puts up some solid scoring numbers that I think will be battered a lot with having the first pick, especially with the lack of efficiency on his own team. Now he's not going to have to be the main guy when he picks Lath, a.k.a. Diesel, first overall. 22.2 points per game, 22.4 rebounds per game, all shooting above 50% while being an efficient passer. This is the best big the league has to offer, and honestly, it's going to be an exciting duo with pick one. Lath made it to the playoffs last year and performed solid, but it didn't seem he really had the help he needed. I think Alec can provide that. And now for pick two, Team Xavier. Last year, he was on a team that struggled offensively. They're a good defensive team on Team Zach with Nick, the third player on that team. But he did score 18.0 points per game, shooting a solid 26% from three. So we're going to give him the player comp to DeMar DeRozan, also providing solid rebounding. And with this pick, he's going to go with Brandon Baker, who's new to the league. Couldn't really find any pics of him on his Instagram, so I just decided to plug his Instagram. You know, if you want to pick a Brandon, hit him up. I would compare him to Anthony Davis, AD, and I think he's going to be a dominant force in this league this year as a new addition. Pick three, Team Allen. Allen was a big surprise this year to the league. As I mentioned in Mock 2.0 last season, said his profile picture, I wasn't sure if he was getting blocked or not in that picture, but it looked like he was a hooper, and I guess I was right. He was a hooper. 16.5 points per game, 9 rebounds a game, 3.1 assists per game. That's a real offensive force. I think he'll be a really good number 2 option for this team. And this player comp is Lou Will. He's just a bucket getter, and he's a solid distributor. And with this pick, he's going to go with Sean Adams, who's also new to the league. His player comp, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Sean's really good athlete. He can play inside out. He's taller. He's going to be able to provide the rebounds that Allen needs to win. And I think that'll be a solid duo as well. So pick 4, Team Dylan. Dylan Brand, player comp. We're going with Jimmy Buckets. He's a straight bucket getter. He's an alpha. He's going to want to take a lot of shots on this team. And for that reason, I think he doesn't go with PJ, the reigning league MVP here. I think he goes with Dylan Bullock because I think he needs some rebounding and some defense. And I think that Dylan did a really good job last year on Team Justin, providing that at 19.2 points per game, 14.4 rebounds per game, all while shooting a very efficient 45%. Player comp, Pascal Siakam. Pick 5. Team Dimitri, his player comp, Kawhi Leonard. You don't see a picture of him there because his Instagram is an egghead. He's a solid player from what I remember. I think I ran track with him in high school. He's a good athlete, and I've heard he's good at basketball. With this pick, we're finally going to see the league MVP go off the board. PJ Katona led his team to the playoffs last year and lost Reed in the playoffs because Reed just decided to go back to Ohio like a loser. PJ averaged 31.8 points per game, 11.7 rebounds per game, and 2.3 blocks per game. If I were to compare him to a player dominance-wise within the league, I think it'd be James Harden because he's obviously the best scorer in the league. But I think that Devin Booker, in terms of play style, better suits his game. And obviously, I said I was short on time. I just wanted to get my picks out to you guys. an hour before the draft because I know there's probably going to be some trades by the time this video even drops. And you see Justin Lukowski, one of the league's leading scorers, slip into pick six, a commissioner, to Kyle, who was in the championship last year and had a good performance in the playoffs. And we see a big run on guards going after pick six. You see Luke, you see Eric, who's new to the league, who's also a guard, and then Tony, who had to drop out last year, but he's back with a vengeance, for DeJuan, who DeJuan was a sub this year in the playoffs, performed very well. I believe he was a double-double throughout every game. So that'll be an interesting duo there. I think Ronnie takes Zach. It's the best big man left on the board. Zach falls to 10, but he was a 15 and 15 guy almost every night out there for his team when they really had no number one offensive threat. So that could be a solid duo there. We have Mike taking James. I think that could be a big steal for Mike. Mike obviously has the LRL record for three-pointers made in a game in 10, and James bangs down low. They have a lot of experience on Justin's court together. I think that could be a solid duo there. And then Cade, I have him taking David and Kevin back-to-back with his picks. I think that he's going to do this because, I think they're friends. So I think that's how it's going to shake out for Cade. Noah, I've got him taking Cooper and Nick Gang back-to-back. He's in a tough spot at pick 13. Really, those picks 7 to 10 are just the best spots in the draft, if you ask me. And I think a lot of people are going to be scrambling to get into that area, trade there in any way. And I think Mike in the second round gets a big steal in Bilal, who was on his team last year. I think that they have a lot of chemistry, and that's going to work out for them. I have myself going at pick 19 to Team Jaden. You could say it's a little early for myself. I don't really care. This is where I think I'm going. And I guess we'll have to argue with the results after the draft. And obviously one of the big hot topics I guess we have whenever we talk draft is who's going to go at the bottom, who's going to go last. And I mean, I don't think there's a big skill gap between me and the guys at the bottom of the draft. I'm not going to act like I'm way better than these guys. These guys are all competent players. They'll be great. A lot of these guys are new additions to the league. I'm sure they'll be great for the league. And so the last three, I have Tim, who's a new addition to the league, going to Team Allen. He's a big body. I think he could be a little bit of a steal there at pick 24. I think he could surprise some people. Nomets went last in the draft last time. I don't think he does this time. I think Xavier's pretty happy with getting him and Brandon. I think that's going to be a pretty good trio. And I did have Ivy going last in mock 2.0. You might think I have something against Ivy. I don't. This is just what my sources are telling me based on my discussions with my sources. I think this is what we see, how it shakes out back half of the draft. I'll keep you guys updated as trades happen. I'll try to drop another mock right before the draft happens. And, I'm really excited to actually get to play this year. I made a mock and everything last season, dropped out last second, kind of sad, but I'm really excited for this season. I think it's going to be the best season yet. And, let's get after it.